First off, thank you all for being on the call. Let's see, is it recording, Lindsay? Good. All right, awesome. And if you're not on mute, if you could put yourself on mute, that'd be awesome. So first off, I would love to hear from a couple of group here. We could almost hear from everybody. Like, what's been happening the past week? Where have your breakdowns been? Where have you had some breakthroughs? What's new? What's been showing up in your world? You know, what's going on? I'd love to hear from a couple of people.
I'll share.
Go for it, Michael.
So as you were there yourself, you know about it. We went to the Super Saturday on Saturday. And as part of the conversation that we were having at the weekend, and then part of the conversation I was having with Lindsay and I've now had with Jocelyn, is that like I've been having the experience like I'm out of people. Like I've blown up my Facebook. I've talked to the people in my life. There's no more people left. And that's, which is totally BS. And I got that. And then coming out of the Super Saturday, one of the challenges they gave us was to reach out to 50 people in 3 days. So I was like, all right, I'm totally going to do that. And then I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to blast Facebook again. It's like my go-to. I'm going to send out a message on Facebook. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to I took on the context, like everywhere I go, I meet people. Like that's just the kind of person I am. Everywhere I go, I meet people. And then today at the gym, it was like a miracle. I swear to God, it was so weird. Like I met two people, never seen before, never talked to, two guys, Chris and John. And it was like totally natural. Like we just happened to be working out next to each other, wanted to use the same machine, started a conversation. I got both numbers, and I'm inviting them to the bowling event on Saturday, which is like, it's going to be all of our people together, like our whole community there. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then, you know, I'm so like high from that experience. I walked into Subway to get something quick before this call. And I introduced myself to the guy who's making my sandwich. And I didn't get his number, but it's like, you know, anytime I go back into that Subway and I see the manager there, and I found out he was just promoted to being a manager, and like I congratulated him on doing that because I had seen him at another location. Anytime I go back there now, it's like, I know him. We can have a conversation. You know, the door has been open to actually have a conversation. So that's something new that's been opened up for me, like a new context I'm taking on is like anywhere I go, I just meet people.
Nice. Wow. Well done, Michael. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Most of actually 99% of what I'm going to Super Saturday that we had. So kudos to you, Michael, for taking that on. Really good. Really cool. All right. Who's next? Go ahead, Lindsay.
Hey, so I'll share. I was also at the Awesome Super Saturday. I won't steal your thunder because I know you're going to share a lot of good nuggets from that. But in general, so just what has been going on, I've really taken on the context in this 90-day game plan that we're starting fresh. No one knows what we do. And so it's funny, Michael, because in the past, I know I have slipped into that, gosh, I've contacted everyone, or everyone knows what we do. But I've taken a different approach just in contacting people who I might take for granted that they know what we're up to, and just saying, hey, have I ever like really shared what it is that we do? Like, I know we do isogenics, but would you mind if I just like really share what that's all about for us? And have opened up some interesting conversations for even just referrals from that. But in general, and I think this is important to share, I've been sharing more than I normally do, and it isn't producing results yet. So a lot of these conversations, like we always hear the stat, right? It takes 5 to 7 contacts, 5 to 7 touches before someone makes a decision. I've got so many things up in the air right now. Like it's about to start raining people who want to, get in on what we're doing. Like it's just got to, right? Okay. And I think it took me a while to realize that there are those ebbs and flows to this business. There's times where you're planting a lot. There's times when you're harvesting a lot. And I've been planting a ton. And I think it's important for everyone, who's a little bit newer to hear that we all go through those seasons. So I'm just like, I'm planting away. It's about to start harvesting season any day now.
Awesome. Yes. You know, Lindsay, I am right there with you. I would say it's like clockwork, and I haven't been in the business as long as a lot of you here, but for me, I can take a ton of action for a week or two, and I can almost gauge it. Within 4 to 6 weeks, all of a sudden, I'm going to have anywhere from 3 to 5 to 6 enrollments just from that week or two of consistent action and reaching out to people. So that's perfect. I'm right there with you. I think I have over a dozen, working conversations with people saying, yes, I'm interested, but this week check with me on this. I need a little more money, whatever it is. So awesome. And just kudos to you for staying in action, right? Because I know for me, and we're all human, right? We take some action, we don't see any results, and that's when you're like, screw it, I suck, or whatever, this isn't going to work, Isogenics is lame, whatever comes up for you, right? And just staying in the game, just keeping reaching out to people. And I just want to invite, if any of you are in that ebb and flow, the one thing that's been good for me is, and everybody's going to have something different, right? But if I go and look at my nation picture, I'm like, oh, wait a second, this is pretty awesome stuff. I'm going to share this with everybody. So yeah, kudos to you. Very awesome. All right, cool. Who's next? Lisa, go ahead.
Okay, so I had a kind of big wake up, kick in the pants kind of event. I took Case to Colorado, not this last weekend, but the weekend before, to visit Colorado College. It was his top choice in school, totally awesome school. And realized that because of how they're looking at my income and my ex-husband's income, he may not get any financial aid for the school, and it's an additional $60,000 a year on top of what I'm paying for Alden's. So basically just need to up my income by $100,000 this time next year. And it was kind of like, it was like, okay, game on. And I cannot tell you how many people, just that little kick in the pants, not like I have time or, getting my house or whatever else it is. Yes, it would be nice. No, I've got a year. And so I have been contacting, and I got, it's Lesson, Jay Bennett recommended it, lessannoying.com. It's a contact management system, and it has been totally awesome. And parties scheduled, business trainings, virtual launch parties, all sorts of things, and just like full on action, because this time next year I will be earning $100,000 or more than I'm earning now. And how freaking amazing is it that we could do that? Yep. I mean, that's what's just like, oh my God, we could do that. On a regular job, I couldn't do that. So anyway, so that's what's kind of got me fired up right now.
I love it. There's no way I could go to my boss and say, hey, Dale, I need an extra $100,000 between now and end of next year. What can we do? Like, that would never happen. I love it. Wow. Thank you for sharing. All right, one more. Go for it, Eva.
Ooh. So for me, I finally feel like, since I got here, it's felt like home automatically, like instantly, but I've also just been getting my feet wet, being back in school and in class and in a new world. And I haven't been having conversations like I once have. I'm not going to even attempt to hide that because there's no purpose to it. But what I'm rediscovering is like excitement and joy, and just like it's fun to talk about. And I'll talk more about this on the call, but like it's becoming fun to talk about again, and that has been missing for me, I mean, for a long time. So that's what's showing up new for me, and I'm just to kind of start building from there, because when it's fun, man, this thing is awesome.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Eva, it's just been incredible to see your energy just skyrocket since you've been moving out there. Really cool. All right, awesome, guys. So the first thing I wanted to share, this was great. The story of the oyster.
There's music coming from the background somewhere. Thank you.
I muted. Well, I can mute people, Drew, if that happens again.
All right, perfect. So the story of the oyster. So imagine you go out to the ocean, all right, and you find this guy, and he's got a bucket of 100 oysters, and you know, in one of the oysters is just this magnificent, amazing pearl, right? Like it is just beautiful. Well, translate that to network marketing, right? What we do, instead of just diving in and opening every single one of those oysters up and say, okay, is it in here? Nope. Okay, set it aside. Is it in here? Nope. Okay, set it aside. We open up an oyster. We look inside and we're like, there's no pearl. All right, I'm going to close it. I'm going to set it back here. Let's see. I'm going to say some affirmations. I'm going to do a power pose. And open it back up. Damn it. There's no pearl. All right. I got it. If I pick this oyster up, stick it in my pocket or my backpack, I'm going to drag it to an event. You know, wait, no, it's still not a pearl. Guys, we're just not looking. It's a numbers game. It is totally a numbers game. You know, Jessica Johnston spoke on Saturday, and one of the things that she said that really stuck out to me, she said, the only difference between me and everybody else in this room is I have received far more no's than the rest of you have. Like, really think about that. Just like Michael was saying, just like Lindsay was saying, like taking the action, whether we feel like it or not, whether we're excited that day or not, actually taking that action. So my second point, and this really hit home this weekend, and I'm certainly not ragging on anybody that wasn't able to make it, right? Nobody is going to be able to make it to 100% of every single event, right? But Wendy, and I don't recall her last name, but Wendy, who I believe is I think she's a 7-star now. She said for the first 2 years, for 2 years straight, she's a 5-star? Okay. For 2 years straight, didn't budge. No movement at all. And then she went to celebration. And within 18 months, she went from 2-star to 5-star. Right? Another thing that Jessica Dawson says, it is normal to rank advance 3 to 4 weeks after showing up to an event. 3 to 4 weeks, we should be rank advancing at least one time, if not 2 times. And I would say a direct correlation to that is how many people we are bringing to those events. You know, the first event that you go to is definitely for you, because you know you're going to get the spirit of Isogenics, you're going to get the power of just the whole collective energy. I don't know about you guys, but I just get a rush out of being in a room that high, and we all love the same things, or we're all up to fitness and feeling good and health and building our businesses and wealth and creating just extraordinary possibilities, right? And I'm going to get that every time I go to an event, but it's, it's like your first roller coaster ride. That's always your biggest one. So after that, it's not necessarily for you. When I think about going to New Year's kickoff, I'm like, okay, I've been to a couple now. I can't say that I'm maybe that super excited and pumped up about it. But that's making it about me. I'm not, it's not leaving this whole selfish Drew here, right? And what keeps me thinking back to, okay, this isn't about me, is I got to share something really quick here. So Rose started right at 30 days ago. And she went from a size 41-inch waist to a size 31-inch waist. Guys, if I hadn't been a stand for her to use these products, if I hadn't checked in with her, if I hadn't followed up with her, if I hadn't said, Rose, because she totally disappeared on me like 3 times. I'm like, Rose, what are you waiting for? What's in the way? And she has all kinds of reasons of why she shouldn't do it. She has 4 kids, she's adopting her 5th, and she has 5 foster kids. She has 10 children in her home. So she's busy. I love what Jessica Johnson said. If people come to you and they say, I'm too busy, great, because this business is for you, right? Because you can do it in the pockets of your time. It's not about someday and pounding the pavement, and maybe that is for you, right? But you don't have to do it that way. People can build a team just by doing a little bit here, a little bit there, and sharing their story with people. I mean, we overcomplicate it, we overthink it. So anyway, back to the event. Guys, if you don't have your ticket yet, for New Year's kickoff, if you don't have plans to be at, a major event coming up within the next 3 or 4 months, then something's missing. It's not like you're bad or wrong or a horrible person, right? But if your business is not where you want it to be, there's definitely somewhere to look. And as Lisa pointed out to me not too long ago, Eric Worre says, it is the most, I'm not even going to say it right, but it's the most advantageous, it's the best thing you team.
It's the highest paid skill in network marketing.
There you go. So think about that. Let that sink in. If it's the highest paid skill in network marketing, not enrolling, right? Not loving on your team, which are all important things to do. It's getting people to events. And I am a personal testimony to that, guys, because I don't know if everybody knows or not, but I didn't enroll anybody. I started in September. I didn't enroll anybody until the night that I came home from New Year's kickoff. 5 months later, I enrolled my first person. And I kept showing up to events, whether I didn't enroll anybody for a long time. I didn't create my first consultant until I had been in for 13 months. And then I created 6 in 2 weeks, right? But the only way that happened, guys, is by showing up to every single event, because Eva's voice was in the back. If you want to grow this business, you've got to show up. So thank you.
And he got plenty annoyed as much as I was like, what are you doing? You gotta go. You gotta go. I don't know what you're doing. Why are you even thinking about it? Oh, he got so annoyed.
But I did. I showed up. So thank you. Thank you for being a stand for that.
You are welcome.
All right. Another good point that I learned this weekend, the power of 3. So when we are reaching out to people, this is from Jason. Is it Jason Liu? He's got 3 points that he had. I really like this. The first one is, when we're reaching out to, let's say, somebody that we knew in high school or from grade school, or it's been a while. They're not in our close inner circle. The first thing to do, the first of the power of 3, is reconnect with them or compliment them. He said something very interesting. He said, they did a study, and if you send out an email, and if you preface it by saying, hey, you start out with a compliment. Hey, I love seeing your beautiful kids. I'd love to catch up and have some coffee. And oh, by the way, if you can fill out this online survey, I can get a potential job promotion. If you flip those around and you started out with your intention and simply said, look, if you go online and if you fill out this survey, it can really help me get a potential job promotion. And by the way, man, your kids are looking beautiful, and let's catch up sometime. Let's go. Stating your intention first had a magnificent and like huge response difference. Because if you try to cover it up by saying, with compliments or whatever first, people feel like they're being duped. People feel like you're trying to pull one over on them, or you're just trying to connect with them only to get something out of them. So keep that in mind whenever you're sending out messages, or if you happen to use email or Facebook messages, anything like that. Stating your intention first. And then the last one is going for the no. Like, honestly, I would say that's the biggest one for all of us. And I loved hearing Jessica Johnston say that she still gets nervous. Actually flying out here on a plane, she had a guy ask her, hey, they were standing in line for the bathroom, and he asked her, what do you do? And for a split second, she freaked out. Like, what do I say? What do I tell him? It doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. There's probably never going to be a point, unless you're very, very different, right, than the average person. You're never going to reach that point where that absolutely goes away. But go for the no anyway. What is the worst that they're going to do? I was talking to one of my best friends, my climbing partner, and he was wanting to ask a girl out. And I straight up asked him, I said, what's the worst she's going to say? You got to ask her. You'll never know if you don't ask. Right? All right. Another one from Jessica Johnston that I really, really loved. When we're reaching out, when we're looking for those pearls, right? When we're looking for the people who are wanting to build a business, and I totally did that today by the way, for the lady I was looking for that lives in LA, because Rose is overwhelmed with time. She doesn't have time to build a business, but her friend is very interested in working on the business. So she has 6 things. She said, what I require, and she tells people this, what I require of those that I coach or that I work with, there are 6 things you have to have. And this is perfect, because how many of us are guilty of wanting this more for other people than they want it? Right? I mean, we all see that. I can't tell you how many times I bring somebody on and I'm like, oh my God, their network of people is huge. Like, they're going to be so awesome. And they don't see it, right? It's not their time. So the first one is desire. And that one really hit home. I don't know if you guys have read the book, Think and Grow Rich. That has really been smacking me in the head. Like, where's your desire level at? Because your desire level needs to be, you shouldn't be able to see the ceiling on your desire level, guys. Because that is what's going to drive you. Number 2 is work ethic. What is their work ethic? If you ask them to do something, if you give them coaching, if you say, hey, I need you to connect with 5 people in the next whatever week, and they don't do any of it, that's a sure sign of the work ethic, right? Now, there might be some fear in their way. There might be something uncomfortable. There might be something to be working through. But if there's consistent inaction, that's just something to look for. Number 3 is coachability. And that's a great one, guys. I mean, I know, especially for some of us on here who have been coaches, and especially with, like, say, Landmark and whatnot, working with somebody that's coachable and asking them, hey, if you want me to work with you, my request is that you be coachable. That's going to make such a significant difference, or at least it can. And then expectations. What are their expectations? Like, looking at this list, Number 5 is what if. You know, go through some scenarios of what if you get stopped? What if you reach out to a family member and you get shut down hard? Because everybody is going to get a hard no. What's going to happen? Who are you going to be? And then, of course, 6 is qualify them. Guys, I have been so guilty of just seeing these people and they're like, all right, so-and-so, Mrs. X, she's just going to be amazing. I'm going to make sure that she just, you know, makes it to manager in the next 24 hours. Guys, if they're not ready, if we aren't pre-qualifying them, if we aren't actually saying, hey, what do you want? We can easily just push them out of even wanting to do the business. In fact, I had a conversation with a lady that I brought on Saturday, and she said that's exactly what had her stop doing isogenics 5 years ago. Because the lady who introduced her, all she did was saying, hey, I want you to enroll. Who are you talking to? And didn't even actually have any concern about her experience in the nutritional products. Right? And so how good is that going to be? One of the things that really hit me, I like what you were saying, Michael, like anywhere we go should be an opportunity to connect. But what are we looking for? Because I've run into that question of, all right, I've talked to everybody in my inner circle. I've talked to everybody in my, you know, a little bit larger circle out that I'm not super close to. There are so many opportunities out there. Meet up. You know, meet up. I don't remember who said. Bethany is the one that said that one. Meet up is a great one. Have any of you used anything like that, or found anything that's been great to reach out to people or connect with people?
I've used Meetup, Drew. I've looked for like just different health and fitness meetups, and I've done that. In Phoenix, we also have a website called networkingphoenix.com. And so you could look to see if there's something in your own market. And I mean, I've done the whole networking group thing, but I will say I've had much more success just looking for people. You can even go on Facebook and type in, you know, personal trainer Scottsdale or nutritionist Scottsdale. And it might, you know, personal trainers aren't always like the best people to go after, but even just reaching out to people who are in similar businesses, maybe have, you could see that their business could be one that could use a nutrition component, just even reaching out and connecting and asking if they would be open to grabbing coffee so you can learn more about their business and if there's a possibility for you to trade referrals in the future. Just like expanding your network that way, I've done.
Nice. Nice. Asking for referrals is a great one that I often forget to do. You know, when you connect with somebody and they're like, hey, you know, I'm not that interested. Ask them, hey, do you know anybody who would be? Right? Great one. Great one. And I saw, Dawn, did I see your hand come up?
Yeah, similar. I went to, not a ton of experience, but I went to a networking of businesses, and it's more like entrepreneurial business community type stuff. Mm-hmm. I did not know what to expect, walked in, and I just went to the women and they were safe, like the 3 women in groups, and people are just handing out business cards. I mean, they're there to meet people, and they're there looking for opportunities. And so like I got, you know, exchanged 4 or 5 different business cards and made a connection with a gal who was a health coach and invited me to her vision board workshop, and it made all these other connections that I met at her workshop. And so I think networking events are great because you never know who you're going to meet, and it's just a bunch of people that are open for you to give them your exchange information. So
nice.
Yeah, networking after go to,
okay.
And then there's vision board workshops all over the place, and those are fun and really, like, you know, they attract people who want to create visions. So I'm going to go to more of those.
Cool. I've never even heard of that. Vision board workshops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sounds like people, certainly people that are interested in stepping outside their comfort zone, right? Or building something bigger than what they already have.
Yep.
Nice. I like that. Anybody want to comment anything? Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I just had like a mind-blowing moment. Like literally my mind just got blown in this conversation. Like I've been so focused on my network, right? And it never even dawned on me, Lindsay, until you said this, and Drew, until you expanded on it, that like I could literally ask for favors from the people in my network. Like, who do you know that could benefit from something like this? Like share what it is with them with the intent of them knowing somebody. And I'm like I've had this context, like I'm so limited by my network that I've already tapped into. It's like, that just blew my mind. Like that's like so many more people.
Yeah.
So many more people.
Exponential. Your list just grew.
That's huge.
Gonna keep spreading out.
That was not even on my radar. So thank you for that little gem right there.
Awesome. Another one, guys. Go ahead, Joy.
I have one thing also, like the past week and a half or so, a couple of my friends reached out to me and I reached out to them, and they're actually on Shakeology. And I have a lot of people posting stuff on Facebook, and I've actually just email them or just text them and say, hey, I see that you're on Shakeology. Like, I actually want to learn more about your product to see, what it's all about and how are your results, what are you actually doing? And I'm doing isogenics, and we could, kind of share off and see, maybe this is something that would work for you if Shakeology doesn't quite work. Because I don't really know much about it either, except that a lot of their stuff, they just push on just the shakes, but it's not an actual system, So that's another thing. I see a lot of my friends from all over the country with their little bottles, and I just reach out to them, and then I've already had 2 or 3 responses. Yeah, I want to learn more.
Nice.
So it's never about competition. It's just sharing. I want to learn from them, and and if they want to learn from me, it's I'm there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I know, Lindsay, you had an experience with somebody who, I don't know if they were using Herbalife or something, and they were having a problem with one of the ingredients, and they reached back out to you after what, it had been a year or 2.
Yeah, it was someone who, the way I tend to approach it, I love that, Joy. And like, just how authentic is that, saying, hey, I'd genuinely love to learn, not with the intent of changing your mind, but I love that. And what I had done is a couple of people that I knew did other products or possibly other companies, but this is someone I didn't see her posting a lot. I just messaged in, and this was 2 years ago, said, hey, are you really happy with what you're using? If you are, that's awesome. And, high five to you. If not, if you're the slightest bit open, I'd love to have a conversation. And never heard back from that message. But then, 2 years later, she hasn't responded again, but 2 years later she said, hey, I think I might be needing to make a change. Let's talk. So still, she's one of the floaters. It's going to start raining.
Nice. And then the other one, guys, if you aren't already doing this, and I know a lot of us are, but if you're not, reaching down into your network, because I've had several people who are not interested in building the business at all. But then the people they enroll, they may not even have a clue that there's even a business and money to be made, and reaching down to them and saying, hey, do you know what's possible? Do you know what kind of money you can make? And hey, bud. And, just looking in your network, looking for that pearl, right? Going through all the oysters. But again, just remembering it's a numbers game. If you have to reach out, think about it. If you knew that if you reached out to 500 people, if you knew that 500 people was a magical number that you would become a millionaire, would you do it? I would say most of us say yes. And yet the probability of that actually happening is is actually pretty good. But most of us aren't making sure that we reach, whatever, 6 months or whatever it is, right? Because there's just something in the way. So just something to look at, guys. Where are we not taking the actions? So I want to bring it up next to Eva, because, I have certainly seen your energy shift, especially just from moving out to California. But I know when you first came into Isogenics, you simply just blew it up. And I could tell you were just having fun. Like, there was an absolute fun about it. So why don't you share a little bit about what you've been experiencing?
So I want to actually ask first, because I know everybody's been in Isogenics different periods of time. We've got Lisa with 8 years, Lindsay with 6, and Joy with less than a year. So everybody's on like a different range. So I want to ask, like, when you first started, who had so much fun with this? Like, who was it? This was just like a fun experience. Like, holy cow, this is what I get to do. No, not all of you. And then who, though, now the ones that said no, is it more fun now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And who is like, has you seen that makes all the difference? All, like, completely. It's like a totally different business when you're having fun and when you're not. Is there anybody not experiencing this as fun right now? Honestly.
I would say right now is like good. Like right now.
Right now, you're like good.
Like a week.
Totally. And I love it. I love the honesty. And that's where I want to be so authentic. Like when I started, this was like the most amazing thing ever. Like, I would tell Lindsay, I would tell Jocelyn, I would tell Lisa, I'm like, I'm not sleeping at night. Who can I talk to? Michael would see me at school and he was like, what the hell is wrong with you? And, and Drew was like, can you calm down? And it was just amazing. It was so much fun. And that energy is just what all of a sudden there was enrolling, and it was fun. It wasn't hard. It wasn't stressful. It wasn't about the numbers. It was just fun. And somewhere along the line, that fun turned into stress, and it turned out into numbers, and it turned out to all this other stuff. And when that started hard, have you experienced that? Like, when the fun is gone, it's like, I can't do anything. Who's had that experience? What's that been like for you guys? Who wants to share their experience?
Ineffective. And I think the longer that you're around, and like the quicker you can identify it and realize, like, okay, something's off, like, gotta reconnect. That's why we talk so much about the why. Reconnect to the fun, reconnect to our vision. Yeah, but totally ineffective when it goes out the window.
Yeah, totally. And I think we can all relate to that. And yeah, the longer you go, it's like, okay, you have to generate your fun. But the reason I wanted to talk about it is because, yeah, I've made this big move. Okay, I've changed locations. I like just about almost everything about my life. Not entirely, because we're still on Zoom calls on Monday night with you guys. But that shift in energy, it's like, oh my gosh, this is just a fun thing. It doesn't have to be hardcore business, even though we know this is going to pay, or it does pay like a hardcore business if you do take it seriously and you stay consistent. But it doesn't have to be that like Drew said, like the pounding of payment. And I talked to Lindsay about this. It doesn't have to be like 8 hours a day, intense. It's going to be like, it can be the complete opposite. And I contacted a guy. I was in Amway for 7 years, and he's still using Neutralite products because, let's face it, he still gets paid. He doesn't really do much, but he has a Porsche and he has a Jaguar, and and what he gets paid covers his, right, from the work he did when he was like 18. It's incredible. But he's still using those products, and they're not, okay, I'm not going to go there. But I basically said to him, I'm like, Adam, I know you want results. Like, let's talk about this, because he's in incredible shape, but he wants to take it up a notch. And it was fun to talk to him about it. And it was the first conversation I had in a long time that it was just like, let's talk. Like, I got something. And coming from that energy, not about, I need to get another one. Oh my God, I haven't enrolled. Oh my gosh, it's 2 years and I'm not, like, I'm so far from where I thought I was going to be when I started this. Like, I haven't been leading the way I wanted to, or any of that stuff. It's just totally out of the way. And it's all right. I don't know. He might try it. He might not. I know if he did, he would actually get to go that much faster. But just taking it to the place of fun. And it's like, okay, I'm getting my passion back. All right. Who wants it? Who wants it? Who wants to play? And it's just a matter of time now as I kind of find my way back into the groove. So, anybody else that's kind of like in a place of not so much fun or in a place of a lot of fun that wants to kind of share and like shift the energy and get it moving? Anybody? Yeah, Lindsay.
Well, Eva, you and I were talking about this today, and I think one of the things that has helped, and granted, take this from the perspective, it's been 6 going on 7 years for us, and what we keep coming back to is, what did it feel like? What would it feel like if today were day 1, it was brand new? And that, for me, really helps to bring me back to what I am most excited about, how much I believe in what these products can do, how I felt after my first 3 weeks on the program. So whether or not that's your access back to that, I think it's just great. It's important to know that this is a business. There are ups and downs. There are going to be times where we feel like we're kicking a wall, and we may have that. I've had the thought for 2 seconds about like, well, I'm done for the next minute. I'm done with this. But the truth is, where else in the world, just like Drew and Lisa and you were all starting to share at the beginning, where else in the world can you create a residual income with your friends, sharing something that makes a real difference in people's lives? So that's always what brings me back. And then just, recently creating it as brand new. And like Michael, you were saying, just that there's like this whole playground of people that may not actually know. They may think they know what we do, but they may not actually know. So that's what works for me when I find myself in those places.
Awesome. And I want to share one more thing as well. Like, I was in a seminar all weekend, it was Saturday 8 to 5, Sunday 8 to 5, and it was awesome. I'll be honest. And it was like, why isn't your brain working? Right. And they have their whole like their tables of products. And now that I'm back in this world, it's like they all have their tables of those products. I kept picking up their nitric oxide, and I was like, that's disgusting. And I picked up this one, and that's disgusting. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, they're selling kits. They're $280, $300. They're no different. And like, I'm looking at the ingredients, and they're completely comparable, give or take. And I'm like, this stuff is disgusting, and people are taking it. Like, we have gold. So I just got massively reconnected to that. And I'll keep telling this to you because, like I said, I know I've dipped back into this world, and it fires me up. So back to you, Drew.
Nice. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Eva.
Mm-hmm.
When I started out, and this is something that I forget to really share with my new associates. When I started out, I had 2 experiences within the first 2 weeks of sharing. The first one is I had a coworker, and I didn't have a clue how to enroll anybody or sign anybody up. And my coworker was ready to sign up, him and his wife, and we were going to get him to consultant by the end of the week. But I couldn't get anybody to help me sign him up. And by Friday, he was no longer interested. And that was a low blow. All of a sudden, he wasn't interested. The following week, I had a conversation with my brother, and I didn't know enough about nutritional products. I didn't know enough about our products, and he kind of tore them apart. and I didn't tell anybody, and I didn't share it, and I didn't say anything, but I kind of gave up. And guys, that's going to happen. And I honestly didn't really start sharing and start having success until I got connected to what it was doing to my physical body. And I could actually see some major differences. But I don't know, even then, it's like, it's not a bad idea to prepare everybody you bring in to the fact that they may have some really hard no's. Don't take it personally. It's not about you, because I totally took it personally. And, you know, I took the fun out of it. So if it's not fun, like Eva said, if it's not fun, what's missing? What's in the way? Because chances are there's just something that needs to be tweaked. There's something in your listening, something, a voice in the background that's saying something that you need to get out of the way. And once you get back to connected to having fun, oh my God, everything changes, right? We should all be having fun in this business. This is definitely a business of having fun. All right. The last thing I really wanted to wrap this up with is our belief. Where is our belief? Like, if you see people get up on stage and they share, you know, they may have all kinds of cool things to say. And there's people that get up, and I've noticed, and they may not share much at all, but you can see the belief pouring out of them. Like, they are so connected to Isogenics. They are so connected to this team. They are so connected to network marketing, and that it's going to just change. It has changed their life, and it's going to change so many more lives. Like, where is your belief at? And if it's not at a 10 on, you know, in every single aspect of our company, our products, our leadership, you network marketing, and then you in network marketing, take a look at that. Like, really write it down. And it's not a bad idea to write that down every couple of weeks even. I do it from time to time. I'm like, all right, what's missing? Where is my belief not at a 10? Because that's going to show up in my conversations with people. When you get on the phone with people, and when I think back to that conversation with my brother, that's what was missing, right? I didn't believe in the products. I didn't know enough about them first, but I let him affect my belief in the product. Like, whatever he said, right? And so it's just something to really look at. So anybody have anything to, you know, takeaways? What have you guys gotten out of it? Go ahead, Michael.
I just wanted to take the opportunity to share something that's right along what you were just sharing and what Eva was touching on. Just given like the opportunity of all of us here and the listening and like what we're up to. This weekend when Tracy O'Malley was speaking at the Super Saturday, it was all about like, what are your real beliefs? Mm-hmm. Like, what's really going on with you? Like, being real about it. And when I was listening to her and reflecting on my own experience, it's like the most important thing to me right now is, in a year, in August of 2017, to be able to work from anywhere. Like, I look at the Freemans right now and I'm like, that's what I want. Like, I want to be able to pick up shop, go to a different city, work from that city, and have it work and have it thrive. And right after that, like, I got why I haven't been producing results or even having fun, because I've been so convinced that it's not going to happen. So here I am sharing with people and interacting with people when in the background, what's running the show is like, it's just not going to happen for me. And then I get up and I go to these events and I hear like Jason Liu, you know, going to be an Isogenics millionaire. He didn't have success in network marketing until his second or third year. I can't remember what's his name. I'm totally blanking on like the father of network marketing. GoPro.
Oh,
Eric Worre?
Eric
Yeah.
Worre. Wow, that was a moment. So Eric Worre didn't have success in network marketing until his 3rd year.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I so significant about? Seriously, you know, it's one thing to have like that big of a goal and to have it inspire me, but like I've just convinced myself that it won't happen. I've literally been like depressed interacting with people and wondering why they don't want to do this with me. You know, it's insane, but I don't know. I just want to take the opportunity to share that. Like, it's insanity, right? It's so insanity, but like that's what's been going on. So and if you would have asked me what my belief is, I'd have been like, yeah, I totally believe in marketing. No way. So there you go.
That's awesome, Michael.
Thank you for being authentic, man. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else? What are some takeaways that you've gotten from this?
You guys just all inspire me. I mean, like freaking awesome, inspire me. And Michael, thank you for sharing. I mean, wow. You know, because I saw it from the beginning. That first time I met you, like this guy's gonna do something big in this.
Awesome.
I can follow up on kind of, for me, when I came into this, I knew I was going to blow this out of the water, and then I started to, and then I completely lost my belief somewhere along the lines. And now I'm just excited to do it differently and not make it about, I don't even know. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But I mean, I can totally relate to Michael in the sense of somewhere in the background, it went from being, I'm going to be a nice Gen X millionaire, I don't care what anybody says, like if that's what's happening, to I can't even enroll somebody, like what the hell just happened? Like consultant is really hard. What? And now it's like, all right, whatever, that stunk. That really sucked. But now it's like, all right, do this again and let's play it. Let's just play it differently. And belief is coming back, and it's true. It's like the magic fairy dust in all of this. And I also want to give a shout out to Kathy, because she's prepping for her show and I didn't even realize it, and she's posting pictures, and that is amazing. So like, kudos to you, Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy.
Thank you.
That's awesome. All right, cool. Did anybody have anything else? Go ahead, Joy.
I mean, I just wanted to share also, I'm like a baby at this right still compared to you guys. But for me, I'm at the fun stage right now with this. And the one thing that I truly love about this community and these group calls is that I know eventually I'm going to hit a wall, mental block, and all this stuff that you guys are all saying. And it's going to be in the back of my mind, like this conversation of tonight, that, you know, get out of my head. You know, everyone goes through it. It's not going to be a yes all the time. And, you know, that's why I love this community, because there's always everyone at every stage and everyone's sharing, and, you know, we're just all in it together. So, yeah, but I'm having fun right now with it. But, yeah.
Well, you are totally kicking ass at it, Joy.
But because I have you guys, I mean, really, it's all of you who's making me be the way I am. So you inspire me.
Well, awesome. It's inspiring back. I think I can speak for everybody in that. Cool. Anybody else?
Great call. I loved it. I love the recap from
Awesome, guy.
Saturday.
Indeed.
Say that again, Lindsay.
It was good to recap Saturday. I was looking at my notes the whole time and just filling in where I missed something or where you got something different than me. So it was really helpful. Thank you.
Nice. Absolutely. Well, thank you all for being on the call tonight. You know, I know we could all be somewhere else doing other things. We all have busy lives, up to big things. And you chose to be here on the call with me. So thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate it.
You're
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye.
Bye.